Welcome to the inaugural episode of the Toa Factory, where we will create a Toa in the Mata style, and we will kind of come up with a bit of a story for them while we're going. So let's get it started here. Let's hop over to our wheel of elemental powers and see what kind of Toa we will be building today. Go ahead and give it a spin here. Nothing. All right. And we'll spin it again for a Toa of ice. Ice it is. That's one of my favorites. My first Toa was Toa Copacabana, so let's get started here. Ice is a classic. Go through the mask. We'll try and find something white or light gray. I don't want to use Kopaka or Nuju's mask since those have already been used in official sets. But let's see if we got something else here in the light gray. There we go. We got a couple down in there. We got the Huna, and then we got not that one, but Anua's mask. The Komau, is that right? The mask of mind control. I don't think there are any others in here, but let's look a little bit. Nah, I think we're good. We're good with what we got. I have a lot of Nuju's masks. I use that for my self-mock. All right, we'll go in here. We'll pick out some limbs. I want to stick with the light gray. So let's just see. We got some couple of limbs here, something for arms, something for legs. Will give us some options. It's always hard. I feel bad taking the ball joints apart because after a while the friction starts to wear them down and you can't really connect them as well. So I always, when possible, I try and keep the ball joints connected, but sometimes you just gotta pop them off. Get some feet too. Feet are good for standing and kicking and running, walking too also. Very important for your Toa to be mobile. Could have a peg leg, but I'm not feeling that one right now. That might make a good shot, just opening the drawer like that. I like that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to use that someday. Then we'll go for a head. I don't want to go with the classic light blue eye design. Let's go with the dark green for this one. That one's a bit crusty, though, so maybe I'll pick one that's a bit cleaner. Some of these heads, I've had them since like 2001, so they're 20-some years old. All right, we got our feet. We got some limbs. I like going with the limbs that have the actual hole for the hand. They're just, I don't know why, but to me that's like the most classic Bionicle piece there is, really. And then we'll throw away the extra limbs. Just toss those unceremoniously back into the bin. I'm a bit sick, so apologies for any sniffling. We bring our mask back. We got the Nuparu, we got the Huna, we got the mask of mind control. We'll build the Toa first, and then we'll see which one looks best. We'll do a bit of a fashion show and pick which mask we want. Go for the neck piece. I'm going to go with white on this one. You never saw that on the original sets, but I don't know where these white pieces came from. Probably some Ninjago sets, but I think they'll work well for this build. Sorry, I'm going to be grammatically correct here. Okay, we got our neck, got our body. That's a little scrap build. Do you see that? What else do we need? We got our head. Go for some 3-length axles for the shoulders and neck. A couple of those. Toss them in the pile. Beautiful toss. And we got to get some gears too. I'm going to have both arms moving with gears, so we'll need 3 of the little gears and 1 of the big ones. It's surprisingly hard to do this while holding the camera because it totally throws off my depth perception. I've tried to grab these things like 20 times. There we go. I think I got them all. Toss. Toss again. So this little ball here was just sitting on the edge of the table. It knew I was about to build a Toa. No idea where it came from, why it was sitting out there, but it was just literally just right here, ready to go. So I think this Toa, he's gonna be ballsy. Got to get some axles, some 1.5 for the hips, and then 1/6 for the gear function, just for the classic build. Toss. Let's see, what else? We need, what are these called? Bushing? Something like that? We need one of those for the gear function. Toss. And then we are just about ready to go. Most of my weapons are still back in Kansas, so I'm going to go with these little white blades because they're pretty much my only option at the moment. And we'll start building it. So this is a toe of ice. So we got to come up with a name for it. So I think we should go Arkua. I've somewhere in my notes I've written down like all the sounds that appear in Matoran and Toa names, and I think Arkua. Taking R from Artaka and Kua from Takua. So Arkua. I think that's good for this guy. He's a toe of ice. I feel like he's, most toe of ice are pretty isolated, pretty lonely characters. But I think this guy takes it even to the extreme. I think he's just from like the very, very southern tip of the Great Spirit Robot universe. Think of it. He lives in the toe, basically. He's from the toe. The Toa from the toe is what he is. And I think he's definitely a loner, like to the extreme. And he has a Toa team, which maybe we'll get around to building some of them. But he really does not like to work with his team, Arkua. And that gets him in some trouble sometimes because he tries to take on challenges he can't quite handle. I mean, he's very skilled, He knows how to use those daggers, and whatever we decide his mask power is, I think he's going to be pretty adept at using it. So he can definitely handle things on his own, but sometimes he jumps in without thinking or without letting his team know what's going on, much to their chagrin. But Arkua likes to solve problems on his own. And most of the time he can. He's got the skills, but sometimes, it lands him in some trouble. So we'll go ahead and decide which mask we want to use here. We'll get our fashion show going. Do we want to use the Pakari, Mask of Strength, to give him, great fighting skills and strength? Do we want to go with... I'm going to actually look up the name of this mask real quick. Yes, just verified that is the Kanohi Komau, the Mask of Mind Control. I know most of the names pretty well, but this one I sometimes forget. And then, of course, we've got the Huna, the Mask of Invisibility, which might fit nicely with the daggers. I don't know, kind of an assassin character. And our winner is the Huna. Yay, Mask of Invisibility. So this guy's he's going to be a stealthy, almost not assassin, because that's not the Toa way. But he likes to get in without being seen, take his enemies down real quick, and get out fast, I imagine. That's kind of his, with the daggers, with the Mask of Invisibility, I think that's kind of his style. And with always liking to be on his own. So when other people are around, his stealth goes down, so he likes to do things on his own. He's got the standard gear function, so he can fight. I added a second gear and an axle on the back, so you can make his shoulders steady, so no matter how hard you try, you can't move that. Unless, I guess, you move the gear a little bit, then he can spin his arms again. So it's not exactly foolproof, but, what can you do? So this is Arkua. You can see his mask has a bit of damage on it, on that bottom part of his chin. We'll say that's battle damage. He got in a heated argument with his fellow Toa, a Toa of Fire, of course, because they're always button heads. And he's got a scar, actually. I will say it actually goes onto his face, too. It goes through the mask, and it's on his face. He's got a scar. So this is Arkua, Toa of Ice, from the southernmost tip of the Mata Nui universe. And he's a loner, an extreme loner, and likes to use stealth and speed to get to his enemies quickly. Doesn't have the patience to wait for his team. He always likes to do things on his own. And there we have it, the first Toa to come from the Toa factory. This is, I imagine this is going to be a long-running series, hopefully. I'd like to do like one a week or more or less. We'll see. I've been sick recently, so I've had a lot of free times on my hands. And that's why I ended up doing this. I'd normally be at work today, but you might be able to tell from my voice, but I'm a bit under the weather. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging around Nuparu's workshop. Might have some more stop motion coming out eventually. Maybe not. I recently moved, so I'm down a camera, and most of my parts are still back in the great state of Kansas, while I'm 4,000 miles away in the land of cheese, also known as the Netherlands. But hey, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for checking out the Toa Factory, and we'll see you around.